Hello and welcome to the lair of the champion.
Let's pop the top.
Hopefully
Dalton.
that's not a copyright strike right there.
Finish your introduction real fast.
As always, I am your host, Scotch from the Sidelines, Dalton Van Pelt. One time. With me, I have the two-time champion commissioner, Zachary Stewart.
One of the two times. Again, like I mentioned on the page, formally welcome you to the Club of Champions. And I'll give you the floor for the first little bit. I want to hear some remarks.
Well, I mean, I couldn't have had it any better. First round of the playoffs, I took out the commissioner and a two-time champ. Second round of the playoffs, I knocked off the potential triple crown winner.
Big dog.
And in the championship, I knocked off the other two-time winner. So, I mean, you can't really write a script any better than that.
Yeah, you definitely had a tough road to the title. You went back. I went back and looked. I mean, you scored 160 plus 2 weeks, 2 of the 3 weeks, and then scored 145 in the chip. So, yeah, I mean that's what it takes. You need a couple high scoring weeks to get it done, and your team did not disappoint with the couple most common players on fantasy championship rosters in Cooper Cup and Debo Samuel, Travis Kelce. Yeah, you did it all, man. I mean, made the tough choices. It worked out. And yeah, good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jarrett Patterson and Marquez Callaway. Week 17 pickups. So that was pretty nice.
Yep. Guys
nice
that got
you can pull the right string.
Yep. I really thought, I mean, you had talked yourself out of Zay Jones. The more and more, I mean, you had talked to me earlier in the week here about talking about Zay Jones, and I was like, oh, I mean, it's interesting. And then you drop him.
I was right.
And well, you dropped him, and then I was like, well, I thought you were going to play him, and then you ended up picking him back up and decided to go with Marquez Callaway and in the late window. And after you see Zay Jones in the early window, we can jump right into a little bit of the games too. But he had just 8 for 120 and scored a 20 points. I'm sure you were looking at that like, well, maybe I wish I could have just bagged the 20 points. But I mean, Marquez Callaway, 6 for 90, 97. Didn't leave a whole lot of points on the bench the last couple of weeks. That's also a key contributor to a title run, setting the lineups.
I picked up 13 points between kicker and defense. Off the waiver wire as well. Well, no, I had the Bills.
So you had the Bills. Yeah, you streamed last week.
I added 2 points off of Elliott.
Yep. Which was I mean, a good call. I mean, a couple field goals. I mean, obviously Greg Joseph kicked a 50-yarder, which was the longest kick in Lambeau Field history in January, 51.
Wow.
Yeah, that game on the
that was right at the end of the half, wasn't it?
Yep, right to get on the board. And the longest in January at Lambeau was like 47 yards, and it was like 5 degrees, so that ball must have been like a rock. But
Jordan Howard being active for Cody and James Conner's uncertainty really put him in quite the pickle.
He made the choice early. He backed off James Conner.
I think I would have played Boston Scott in his situation, but I mean, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, I mean a little tough, with
Higbee
Howard.
Was hot.
Yeah, Howard was active, scared him off a little bit. Howard got 11 touches, so it's not like he
just did nothing with it.
He just didn't get the touchdowns. So
26 yards.
Yeah. So, and he went with Derek Gore instead, trying to get a little bit. He did have a couple big runs. He got all those points on 3 touches.
Yeah.
So he looked good when he got some run, but it's I mean, it's a tough one.
Wide receivers were pretty rough outside of Adams. He did get the garbage time touchdown from KJ Osborne.
Yeah, he got one.
Put it much closer.
Tyler Boyd as well.
I believe he needed 56 points to win.
Yeah.
and he got 44.
That's
which
pretty
is
good. I mean, which was a
way
little scary
closer than I needed it to be.
because Adams had 26 at half. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
gosh. And I was like, this is the game script where it's possible. They come out, they give a few more to Adams. It was kind of like every other drive. It was like a run drive, then a pass drive. And Adams was just getting the ball fed. And then I figured they would sit the starters eventually. And then it was the game script they want for a KJ Osborne, who does catch a garbage time touchdown. So, I mean, obviously Sackett left a few more points on the bench. Could have easily won, a couple different decisions, but it's hard to play two New England running backs. Then you're trying to decipher which Eagles running back. Tough decisions.
He had three game time decisions to deal with, so it was really tough. He had all of his bases covered, but he put himself into an impossible decision. Obviously, you're not starting Ramondre Stevenson over Damian Harris.
No, and Ramondre Stevenson just coming off the COVID list also makes a big difference in that decision. But also, I mean, the rotating door at tight end for him after Hawkinson got hurt. I believe he played Gerald Everett, but he also had Freiermuth on there, his roster, and Higbee. Losing Chris Godwin definitely hurt him down the stretch. Jalen Hurts, no touchdowns, a big contributor in a lower score for him. And Cooper Cup and Debo do Cooper Cup and Debo things. When you need it the most, they give you.
Well,
They give you what you need.
Honestly, coming out of the 11 o'clock window, I thought I was going to lose. If you look at the graph on NFL.com, I was fucked until second half of the 2 o'clock games.
Yeah, I was sitting there, right? It was right before the Michael Gallup touchdown, and I had told you this already, but I'm sitting there, and it was probably, I think you're only up 4 or 5 points, and you had all your players playing, where he still had Adams and Osborne to go, and I'm like, for you to be, I mean, you want to be up at least 50. So I was like, to be up 50, I said, Herbert's got to throw another touchdown.
He did.
Debo's got to get a touchdown.
He did. 45-yarder.
Michael Gallup caught the touchdown at the end of the half.
Yep.
And then I'm like, and
tore his ACL on the same play.
And I was like, and if Callaway catch, I mean, a touchdown too, but he caught like 80 yards in the second half. So, or he got all that in the second half.
Yeah. So, all of it in the second half.
So huge second half performances, just what you needed to give you that 56, 58 point lead. And then, I mean, I was watching that first couple drive, or like the first 3 drives of the Packers game, and I'm like, oh shit.
So I'll take you through my emotions on Sunday. So I was at work, and I checked my score at halftime of the Cowboys Cardinals game and realized I was completely boned. Or it was before the Gallup touchdown. I checked it and I realized I was completely fucked. And then I thought for sure I was going to lose. I had already gone through I'm going to lose second place again. And then I didn't check the score again until I got off work.
Yeah, and they all happened pretty quickly. I mean, they were all in the second half, except for Gallup's at the end of the first half, but they were all decent sized touchdowns too. It wasn't like just like a 2-yard, run in. No. Like Gallup's was like a 25-yard touchdown pass. Justin Herbert's was a 50-yard bomb. Debo, it was like a 35, 40-yard touchdown. And then obviously Callaway all in the second half. Just propelled you to that massive lead, which is what you needed, obviously, with the man known as Devontae Adams, who helped me win a championship last year. And then KJ Osborne, like you said, came close, but you did end up pulling out the score, 145.18 to 133.96, a nice 12.5 point win.
The two highs for me of the day was the Kelsey touchdown right out the gate. I was like, all right, cool. I'm on a roll. And then seeing the Deebo Samuel touchdown, because that was actually what solidified my W.
Yeah, that got you.
Without
to that
that,
second point.
I would have probably lost. No, I would.
No, you might have squeaked
won.
it out.
Barely, because it was 11.5 points on that.
And then it avenges your loss earlier in the season to Cody. The closest game of the year, a .22 victory for him earlier in the year. And so good for that. I mean, you beat the tough people when it counted. That was the big thing. I mean, you beat Luke twice this year. On his chance for a triple crown. You lose to Sackett, super close, and take him out in the championship game. Again, like you take Luke down in the semifinal. You take down me, which I don't think I was that formidable, but appreciate the compliments. But you scored 160, and that's what matters. Yeah, just like you said, it's been 7 years since we started this thing. So that'll be plaque number 8. So it's 8.
I got to figure out where I'm putting it.
Yeah, might be sitting displayed in back there on top of the Winchester case. You can see it in the podcast streams. Maybe
that would be a good idea.
Mine's been sitting in my work office. See it every day. It's going to be a vacant spot for me, but try to give it a go again. And that adds another member of the Champions Club, which is great. I mean, obviously Sackett obviously is a great champion. But him having 3, he would definitely it'd be a little too much, 3 in 8 years. But that is his first championship game loss. He was obviously previously undefeated. I texted him. I said, it was a great year, but I'm happy you lost because I don't want to be the only two-time champ that's also lost in some championship games. So I mean, we've been there plenty. And a quick little stat I'm going through. So that is the 5th. So 5 champions of 8 years have come from the 4-5 matchup.
Wow.
2 5 seeds and 3 4s. So in the rundown, so the first year was a 7 seed and then a 1, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 4. That also puts the number 3 seeds been to the title game the most out of anybody. I believe 4 or 5 matchups have had the 3 seed, and they've only won 1. And they're like 1-4 in the 3 seed. And the only 3 seed to win was me. It's just tough. I mean, you're coming in.
It'd be the easier side of the bracket.
Well, the 3 seed's gotten there plenty of times. So obviously it's the easier side of the bracket. The 2 seed gets knocked out. You play the 7. You get into the final. Not as the case this year, all the top seeds advanced. And yeah, it's another win for the 4 seed. So the 4-5 matchup has accounted for 5 of 8 championship games. So if you're looking at it, maybe shoot to be in that 4-5 matchup.
It's the hardest path, which is hilarious.
It's very hard because you're playing against a team that's obviously another very good team. And then you're most likely matching up against the 1. So it's a crazy way to do it. So, doing it the hard way. But congratulations to you and your fantasy MVP of Cooper Cup, I assume. So, yeah. Another list of
number
receivers.
2 would be. Would it be Herbert? I don't even know. I've never even put any thought into who else it'd be.
Debo
and Kelsey. I mean, that trade did work out pretty well, but he did let me down towards the end of the regular season, but came through in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, he's stud too, man.
Yep. So let's talk about some seeding. Well, first, Cody will be in the 11th spot of the
I do have that pulled
the
up.
NBA draft.
Yeah, I do have that pulled up. I don't have the odds, obviously, but I do have the draft odds order. So going in reverse, obviously we don't know. Yep. We don't know.
Let's go matchup by matchup.
Matchup by matchup. Yep. So
yeah, I'll guide you.
Okay.
So first we've got myself sitting in the 12 hole.
Correct.
Which basically means I'm getting the 12 spot pick.
Yeah, the 9 through 12 historically has not changed. with the draft but the draft order odds have shifted. So it'll be interesting to see if any of those guys ever move up eventually. But
Did they
remember,
shift again?
No, they shifted. Last year was the
Oh.
first year with the new odds, so we haven't seen. There hasn't been enough data trying to see if those guys move up or not. But again, remember, it is tied to the NBA draft odds order, so you will be assigned a team once the NBA season's over, and we'll tie it directly to the NBA lottery again, which I thought was pretty fun.
Yeah.
So yep, so it is Dalton in the 12, Sackett in the 11. You get a draft next to Sackett on the other end of the table.
Your brother, 155 to 118 over Heath. He outscores me, which I'm sure for him is infuriating.
Yeah.
But basically, it was 100 points from everyone that wasn't Jamar Chase.
Exactly. And we'll get to that game. But it was a rematch of the third place game from last year. Luke and Heath made the semifinals last year and eventually lost and played in the third and fourth place game. As a rematch, a flip-flop this year. Luke takes down Heath. So Luke's in the 10 spot. Heath is in the 9, as if everything stayed in order, which we know it's never going to stay exactly in order. So that's where you're going to start, and we'll see where everyone finishes.
Okay, from there, it gets a little complicated. How about we just go?
I have it. It'll be Patrick in the 8 spot. He'll beat me this. He'll beat
you.
Me. Yeah, he'll beat me this week.
Okay.
Then which will put me in the 7th spot. And then we move to the 5-6, which Cole should win that game.
He has already solidified the win.
Oh, he did. He did take the lead.
Yeah, just a little bit ago.
Yep. So he will be in the 6th hole.
Which puts Drew in the 5. Which means he is basically guaranteed the number 5 pick based on the way the odds work out.
No, not necessarily.
So I think he can go down to 8. Either. Oh, okay.
5, 6, 7 has like the biggest swing.
Okay.
Because you can go all the way up to 1, but you can also be down to like 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you're in the top 4, you're guaranteed. If you're in the top
4 is guaranteed a top 4, I believe.
No.
Oh, I don't know.
There's no guarantees. Only the number 1 through 3 I believe are guaranteed a top 5 selection.
Yeah, okay, that's what it is.
Speaking of the 4th slot, the hottest team in the league, Blaster Bastards, won 4 in a row after starting 0-12. Good for him. Way to end your season on a high note. Yeah, he's been
every week. He outscored me every week.
So starting 0-12, did not play in the last place game, which we've talked about with now that's 7 of 8 years. The team that finishes dead last in the regular season has not rode the seat. So it's not always bad to finish last in the regular season because you might not make it out and not have to ride the seat. And he also played against Lean, who also was the second worst team. So Blaster in the 4, Lean in the 5. And then we have the toilet bowl, the Brink Bowl toilet bowl. And I'm sorry to say, Stuart,
riding that toilet seat.
Riding the seat, man. Tough year for you. Your brother outdoes himself, gets just enough from his lineup. Gets a big day from Jacoby Myers and Devin Singletary. You just don't have quite enough from, rough games from Justin Jefferson. Ronald Jones gets hurt. Played a Dare Agumbawale, Chiefs and Buffalo kicker. Doesn't help when you combine 6 points there. It's a tough one to lose in the last place game, but also a tough one to lose to your brother. So which means Garrett will be in the 2 and Stuart will be in the 1 hole. But again, the 1 hole does not guarantee you that number 1 selection.
No, Lean and both Brinkmans will have equal shot at the number 1 overall pick.
1, 2, and 3 have equal shares.
Yes.
Yep. So that'll be interesting to see how that works out. But as we get closer into once the NBA season kind of wraps up,
it'll be like June, right?
Yeah. So the
May
NBA
or
season
June
wraps up into May for the teams that don't make the playoffs, and then those odds are set. And then we'll be assigning those teams and going from there.
July 29th. That doesn't sound right.
No, it's usually June 20s. That's usually when the order is. I think it's the 23rd this year. But
so the draft itself will be on July 29th. So it's going to be in June.
Yeah. Usually the third week of June is when it airs. So that'd be fun. Hopefully we can do a live call, or if anyone can make their way to Casper, that'd be fun to go watch.
Plan.
Yeah. Didn't work out last year. Hopefully this year we can make that work.
Depending on the date, obviously.
Yeah. It's usually during the week.
Yeah. Like a Tuesday or something.
Yeah. Turn up.
Well, anything else we need to touch on right away?
No, not really. The only thing I can think of is going through some of the top the awards for the year. So going through here, the season's top scoring team was Luke at 2,067.4 points, which is technically the highest of all time, but we also played an extra game. So I did break down some averages. That's 147.67 a game.
That's pretty good.
Yep. Not quite the highest of all time.
Of course, it was probably Sackett in 2014.
That was standard scoring, so no.
Oh.
The two flex PPR record is 1994.74, and that was by Sackett. That's 153.44 a game. So that's the all-time points per game record, and that's what we're kind of have to go by as well. The regular season champion does belong. Oh, speaking of top scoring teams, Luke will receive his cash prize once everything has been paid out. Regular season champion, again, Luke, 12-2, in the hopes of the Triple Crown.
Oh, so he's going to get paid out, and he doesn't have to pay for his entry fee. So that works out pretty good for him.
It does work out well for him. So he should be around that. He should get paid out pretty nice. The highest scoring team performance of the year goes to Heath, who scored 203.4 points. I do not know what week that was against you, Dalton. I do remember that. The lowest scoring performance of the season, a mere 64.3 points, goes to this two-time champ when Luke beat me 190-64. And that goes to the top scoring individual player, and that would be Jamar Chase.
Week 17
tops the Jonathan Taylor 50 burger. 11 catches, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns for 55.3 points. Absolutely crazy. That just blown coverages all over the place. And then the Damn It Award, which is the most points left on the bench by an individual player, 35.2 points. Oh, speaking of which, that 55.3 is not the overall record.
It's not.
It is not. 57.9 by Tyreek Hill last year.
Yep.
Yep. Which almost the identical same stat line. He just had 2 more catches. The Damn It Award, 35.2, is by Dalvin Cook when Lean placed him on his bench. 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. He
wasn't supposed to start, and then Lean didn't check his lineup.
Yep. So that is the Damn It Award of the year. The overall record, I'd love to go back through this, 53.7 by Will Fuller. 14 catches, 217 yards, 3 tutties.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sorry, Bill. I believe that was the year he also beat me in the championship game. So whatever. The closest game of the season in matchups that mattered was the matchup between Dalton and Sackett. Sackett did prevail 134.46 to 134.26. So a 0.24 or 0.2. That's 0.2. I think I might have messed that up. It's like 0.22. It's 4 right there. The biggest blowout of the season. also referenced when Luke whooped my ass,
It was
190,
like 180. Yeah. 190 to 62.
190 to 64 for a grand total of 125.7 point win. Not the highest ever. I'll take one more record, the highest ever, and this one is it's wild. 138.38 points. That was when any given Sunday over Matthew when Sackett put up the highest point total ever, 220.62, and Matt scored 80.24.
So basically, if Cody had started his regular roster on a daily fantasy, he would have won some money.
Possibly, if you can do that. The longest win streak of the year belonged to Luke as well, 8 games.
Wasn't there a tie this year?
No, Sackett was 1 win away.
Okay.
When Luke beat him. Otherwise, Sackett would have tied the 8-game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We talked about that.
Yeah. So Luke's name's all over this year. Just a dominant.
Not on the ship.
Not on the championship, though. The longest losing streak goes to Blaster, 12 games, which is the overall record now.
I hope that never gets broken.
That means you'd have to go. Yeah, it would be a lot. And he started 0-12. So 12-game losing streak starting 0-12. This one we may have to come up on air. I know we had talked about it. The comeback owner of the year. It's kind of hard to decipher. I mean, Luke had, finishing 4th last year and has a hell of a run, but not a big difference in finishing. Patrick and Drew were teams that missed the playoffs, but last year, but did make the playoffs, but were bounced early. Sackett made the playoffs last year, as did I.
I think my vote's for Pat just because his season was so bad last year. And like he tried really hard, but nothing seemed to work. And then this year he had some moments where he was really hot.
Yeah, there was, the jump from drafted number 1 overall and loses McCaffrey, loses his number 1 pick again and makes it to the playoffs. And it's going to finish top 5. Yep. So there's some of these other comeback owners are, from toilet seat owner to the championship game, going from 2nd to last to 3rd place, going from 4th, being in the losers bracket, finishing 2nd. Not an overall clear comeback owner of the year, but I'm definitely okay with giving it to Patrick.
All right.
Could almost say you lost in the first round last year. You come back, you have a hell of a year, take home the title.
That's all right. I'll just take the championship.
And the Turkey Gobbler Award. Luke, one more time, 26.7 from Josh Allen.
Against me?
I believe that was.
It might have been.
And that concludes, here we go, the regular season last place, 12-2, Blasters Bastards, and 12th place Toilet Seat of a record of 5-9. The Brink 04.
That's the highest winning record, or like that's the highest.
He was the 9th
amount of wins for someone who was riding the toilet seat.
Yep, and he was the 9th seed. He was just outside of the playoffs.
Got bounced out in the last week, actually.
Yeah,
last week of the regular season.
So that kind of recaps, the 2021-22 Gym City Gridiron Fantasy Football League. Just a heck of a year. Always
you guys want to know where the NFL is at these days and why Zach and I never start running backs in the flex? After 16 or 17 weeks, most teams have played 16 games, right? Well, all the teams have played 16 games. There's only 4 running backs with over 1,000 yards.
Yep. And by the way, fun stat, you've already seen it, but Derrick Henry is still only 5th in rushing still.
6th.
Is he 6th now?
Yep.
And Derrick
Najee Harris actually will probably be in the 1,000-yard after this game.
And I believe Derrick Henry is still a RB2 in total points, which is absolutely incredible. And he scored that in 7 weeks. He's
probably the number 1 overall pick next year.
It's hard to argue. as long as he can come back, he should be back for the playoff run for the Titans. But
unfortunately, I think Christian McCaffrey is now in the Saquon Barkley realm, which is really sad. Ceiling's higher, but
ceiling's way higher. At least when McCaffrey played this year, you saw the ceiling. You saw the 30-point ceiling, whereas Barkley played up all year and minus a few games. But like even when Barkley did play, he didn't hit that ceiling that we are accustomed to top 3 picks. So that's why I think McCaffrey's still going to be higher.
Right.
But
Giants offense is anemic.
Yeah, McCaffrey's not the consensus number 1 pick. If he does go number 1 next year, it's not. I mean, he might.
It's not crazy. It's not crazy.
No,
as Matthew Berry would say.
And that's something I'm gonna have to kind of figure out as well. Across a bunch of different leagues. I mean, don't be afraid to make the wrong selection. You don't always have to go with consensus. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor's a 2nd-round pick, but he could have gone in the 1st round.
I didn't even have my 2nd-round pick for the championship game,
which is
Antonio Gibson,
or your 3rd-round pick. You didn't play him.
No,
Terry McLaurin.
Nope.
And that's the thing. Like you got to think. Like look at Patrick's team down the stretch. He went minus the week he lost in the playoffs. I mean, a team with Rashad Penny and Amon-Ra St. Brown is scoring 165 points. So you have to be able to adapt as the season goes, and you can't just get stuck on like, oh well, I have to play Terry McLaurin. No, you don't. You live with the consequences if he goes off, but you have to go with the trends and how everything's going for the season. I mean, it's not unheard of. Like people benched. I saw people bench Justin Jefferson this week.
Yeah, Sean Mannion's awful.
Yeah, but I mean, it's crazy. People played Amon-Ra St. Brown over Jefferson. That, like, in what world do you think that's possible? And that's only because you have to adapt as.
Was it Tim Boyle this week?
Tim Boyle again.
Better quarterback than Sean Mannion.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. That actually might statistically be correct.
Yeah, let's
see. Sean Mannion. He is 0-3. He's started 3 games. He's played in 14. He's got a 60% completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 66.2 for his career. So keep that in mind, all those stats I just said. Tim Boyle has started 3 games. He's played in 15, so basically identical. 64.9 completion percentage. Or no, 65.3, excuse me. He has 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 64.2. So they're the same guy, basically.
Yeah.
Never mind. It was really fun to read all those stats, though.
Oh, man. Do you got anything else before you want to take a quick break and we can just chat about, the end of the NFL season and the quick little playoff picture?
I've got about 15 minutes left, so I really don't want to take a break. I'd rather just jump in. There's really not much to talk about. We will definitely do some off-season stuff every once in a while. Probably we'll try to do 1 episode per month during the baseball season. But things get crazy, so don't hold us to that.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild summer.
Yeah, especially for you.
Yep. And I'm going to go be looking for a back to back in the baseball league. So if anyone wants to come in and join.
Yeah, for the love of God.
If anybody wants to come in and join that Jim City Pennant baseball league.
We'll advertise it every year because you should be on it.
Yeah. But you're looking at the 2-time back to back.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. Basically, you got to check it every single day. But we check our fantasy lineups just about every single day, unless our names are Christopher Lean. So
that might be the call-out bowl next year. We'll see. I'm talking shit at his team at draft day again. But yeah, so quick game recap. The best game of the day. Bengals
34, Chiefs 31.
Crazy.
Go ahead. I didn't see any of it.
Wild game. Jamar Chase, we talked about went absolutely nuts. Chiefs couldn't cover the guy. 3 long touchdowns. No, they had one like 15, 20 yarder. But 2 of them he just ran completely over the top and ran through everybody. And then he caught a 3rd and 27 play, like contested on a 0 blitz, just threw it up to Jamar Chase and couldn't cover the guy. Chiefs did have 2 separate 14-point leads in this game. And the Bengals come marching back, and they their last drive of the game was a 6.5-minute drive that ended the game. They got all the way down to a couple minutes to go, or about 2.5 minutes to go, and they kept running QB sneaks to try to get it in. And the Chiefs kept stopping Burrow. And then it was a tie game, 31-31. And the Bengals, they said, screw it. We're going for it on 4th and goal. We're at the 1-yard line. We're just going to go for it. And they go out and shotgun this time, spread it out, get Mixon the ball. After review, it would have been a touchdown, but there was flags by both teams. So replay the down, and the announcers are going crazy. You got to kick the field goal now. You just got to do it. And they go out again, 4th and goal, spread it out one more time. They're doubling down and going for it, and run a play and get a flag in the end zone. Illegal hands to the face on Jamar Chase, and it's a 1st down. And on that play, Burrow did get hit pretty hard. He did come out of the game, limped around on the sideline. So Brandon Allen came in and took a quick knee because the clock was under the 2 minutes. They took a knee and then lined up one more time because they had no timeouts. And so this was on purpose because they had about a minute. So they took a knee and then ran the play clock down to 2 or 3 seconds. And then he spiked the ball on 2nd down. And then Evan McPherson lined up for the game-winning field goal and
Nailed it.
Chip shot. Bengals clinched. And
The
AFC North. Wild.
Did I make that bet on this show?
You might have. Yeah, like one of the first couple episodes.
Guys, the Bengals won the AFC North, and I predicted it. Should have put $100 on it. It would have paid out $2,500.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah, that's all right. You live and you learn.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to take bigger shots. Like this morning, I bet on a Premier League game, and it was plus 500 something odds for Man United to lose. And I said, you know what? I'm going to say they're going to draw. And then Man United lost. So had I just gone with my gut and picked the underdog, I would have won some money.
You want to hear this crazy bet this week? One of the guys I follow on Twitter, you can do prop bets and like there's different, odds for those. This guy bet, and it's a pretty solid bet. You think so? It was 800 to 1. 800 to 1. And that bet was Rashad Penny leading the league in rushing this week. 800 to 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's I don't know why I didn't see that bet. That's a hell of a bet. And it hit. Wild. Paid $100, $8,000.
Wow.
Man, that's wild. But
just think about how much that person has spent on gambling if they're paying.
Oh yeah. It's a guy that's in a bunch of betting content, but when you're that big into betting, you're looking for those soft markets.
Yeah, that's 90% of being successful is not going with your gut and just looking for where you think they messed up on the lines.
7-point home favorite against the Lions, who are awful. That's a shoot. I wish I would have seen that bet. I would have.
Seattle scored 51 points in that game, which is just insane.
Yeah, but DK Metcalf, in the toilet bowls, catching 3 touchdowns.
Did he really?
3 touchdowns.
Oh my!
Which is why Blaster scored 156 points.
Oh my gosh! Raiders beat the Colts 23-20. Both those teams are now alive. I believe the Raiders now have the tiebreaker over the Colts.
Yes, Raiders winning. They're in.
Well, it's common games right now. But yeah.
And I believe next week it's Raiders and Chargers.
Derek Carr throws 2 interceptions. Excuse me. And they still win. How weird.
Yeah, it's wild.
He's got 2 wide receivers on that team and no defense, and he threw 2 interceptions, and the Colts still couldn't beat him.
Yeah,
Weird.
it's a
The
weird
NFL's
team.
weird.
NFL is weird.
Well, there weren't really a ton of other interesting ones besides the Jets and Bucks.
Thoughts? Antonio Brown, he's done. His career's over.
Just leave, man. I'm done with you.
Man, I couldn't believe it.
I'm over it.
This is also a face of a guy that played him in 2 fantasy league championships, and also went 0-2.
I had no idea. Pro Football Reference will list the Vegas lines and the over/under from the week before on the game. I didn't realize
nice. Is that the close? It must be the closing line.
Probably. Which is it's the same line that it was when we made our bet.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, but minus 13.5.
Mm-hmm.
And on that one
didn't change.
Yeah,
that's the one game I did not. I parlayed some other ones, and I did not. That one was the one I did not feel the most comfortable on, and that's the one that definitely hit.
Yeah, I remember I cashed out last week on that Jets bet, and then they covered.
So I guess we'll just touch on the bets then.
Let's do the bets. We have to do more. So
Zach, 2-1. I'll take it, man. I got the 14.5. They won by 15. That was great.
Is there? So where?
They won. Yeah.
Sorry.
And then I also got the 13.5, and
for the Jets.
And I did not get the 15.5. I thought that was a pretty gracious spread. I doubled down on it. I bet it on DraftKings at the 15.5, and then also got up to like 17 at one point. I doubled down and took it at 17, and that didn't work either.
No, I double down every now and again. It's fun.
The one parlay I did hit, I took the Cardinals +6.
Good job.
And
plus, they weren't favored in that one.
No,
they've been bad. They've been bad.
Plus, so I took +6, and then Seattle -7.
There you go.
So $5 bet, cash that at like $20, but
that's not bad.
Which is I lost my other 2 bets. So I bet $20 for the week, and I won $20. So
there you go. Push.
Broke even. Running total: Zach 25, Dalton 22.
So
running
it's
total
still possible.
Running total with season long. Right now you have 2-1 in the season long, so it's Zach 26, Dalton 24.
Oh my gosh!
There are 2
so
bets.
It comes down to this week.
There are 2 bets that are undecided. That is the Rams and Cardinals division,
which will be decided this weekend.
Yep. Rams win. I get it.
Cardinals win. I get it.
No, because they can both win, and the Rams can still win. Oh yeah, Rams win.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Cardinals win. Rams lose. I win.
Yep. So, and then the Taysom Hill bet is still alive. Taysom Hill needs 2 more rushing touchdowns.
Does he really?
Yes, he's at 5.
That's ridiculous.
And I need the 6.5. So we'll see. So right now it's not sure, but right now it's at 24. So I mean, right now we can say 1-1 essentially. So I have a essentially a 2-point lead right now, and I believe it's my turn. Correct?
Yes, it should be.
All right, we'll go to our favorite website
because I went to the long shots.
Yeah. Let me.
There's a game list. The games are listed to start at 11:02 on DraftKings now. That's weird.
Well, let's go to our unofficial sponsor, Wild Turkey and DraftKings.
Yeah.
I think I want to do a head-to-head this week just because we've been doing so many spreads. I need to give myself one chance. So we'll do 2 spreads
and a head-to-head.
So that'll give us only one of us will get to pick the better line potentially instead of one of us getting 2 lines favored.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Sportsbook. and I'll send you a head-to-head, a classic.
I do have more than $3 in my account, so that should help.
Okay.
Hitting that Bengals bet made my account jump up by 100.
25
100%.
to 1 odds. Yeah.
Yeah, I only had like $20 in there. So.
And these week 15 one or week 18. So I'm going to pick games that apps matter in the context of
Okay.
Like playoffs,
Seeding
like
or-
yeah, like who needs to play for what.
So we should look at
or ones that absolutely don't matter where both teams are out. Like not like Tennessee. Like Tennessee's playing Jacksonville or Tennessee's playing Houston. I know Tennessee has something to play for still because they can be the 1 seed.
Bengals Browns, is that one of them, or do Bengals still have something?
Bengals still have an outside chance of the 1 seed.
Bears Vikings.
Yep, that's a crapshoot.
Packers Lions.
That's a weird
Steelers
spread.
Ravens.
That Packers, but it's probably gonna be Jordan Love versus Tim Boyle.
Yeah, the Packers are only favored by 3.
Yeah.
Those are the only games where nothing matters.
Well, I know, but I want ones that also matter, like where both teams have something to play for.
Well, Chargers Raiders is as good as it gets.
I'm looking here. Let's see here. Dead air. All right.
Just, make a decision. These are hard.
All right, here we go. This is nasty. We'll do one of each. We'll do one,
right.
like 2 teams that are in, 2 teams are out. Or well, yeah.
I think
Washington and
Bears,
the Giants.
Washington, the Giants. I didn't notice that one.
Washington, a 6.5 point road favorite.
Okay.
And it's your choice.
Oh my God.
6.5 point road favorite for Washington football team at Meadowlands.
It's going to be Mike Glennon.
I think so.
Is that who started last week?
Yeah.
Give me Washington football team minus 6.5.
Okay, I'll take the Giants.
I hate betting. I hate betting for them.
Washington?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter.
I know, but you put me in that position every week.
And we'll
believe in them.
And we'll do one that matters.
I really don't want to bet on the Chargers Raiders game.
I don't want to either. Even though I want to do it just because I think there's a good side. And
is Chargers minus 2.5 free money.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, if
that is tough.
If we do that one, I'm taking the Chargers. So I mean,
Brady's starting, right? At least for a half.
Potentially, yeah.
I wonder if Buccaneers minus 8 and the under 42 is a good bet. Just for betting sake, not for the show. I'm taking it. We'll see what happens. Okay. What is the next one?
I want to do that one just to simply go, like, you have to go against your boys. That's the only way I want to do it.
I feel like they're going to beat the Eagles by 7.
No, not them. I'm talking about the Chargers.
Oh my God. It's up to you. It's your choice.
Let's do it. Chargers 2.5 point road favorites at Las Vegas. Playoffs on the line. I will lay the 2.5.
So you one more time.
So I will take the Chargers.
You will take the Chargers.
Yes. Minus 2.5.
Okay. Give me the Raiders plus 2.5. But when I bet on the app, I'm just going to take the Raiders straight up because 2.5 is this dumb line.
Yeah. It's a dumb line if
Just
you're
like
it's a dumb line if you're taking the plus
betting.
2.5.
Yeah, you might as well just take the win.
Yeah. Like if you're betting on the Chargers, you take the 2.5 or give it.
I mean, I will keep the 2.5
for
the Raiders on our bet, but on this the app, I'm just taking it straight up.
Yeah, plus 125.
Yeah.
And then the classic head-to-head. So technically I could afford to lose both those and then win the head-to-head. But head-to-head in week 18 is going to be wonky too.
Yeah. So should we do? Hold on. Let me look at the lineup.
We'll
The games.
No, we're doing all of them. We're doing
11
the
and 2?
11 and 2.
Okay, I'm good with it.
So that'll be fun.
I agree. Since we don't have anything else going on this weekend,
Exactly.
I'll actually pay attention to it. Maybe.
And we'll see. So, I mean, there's a
Fire
chance.
up your baseball rankings as soon as the lockout's over.
Yeah,
We'll
the
be
lockout.
releasing a date for the draft after I've spoken with all of the team members.
Yes. Well, Dalton, it's been one hell of a season.
It has.
We will do another recap next week, maybe just to preview the playoffs, go over the bets.
I think I'm taking next week off.
Where are you going?
Nowhere. I think I need a break.
Oh. Well, I guess we'll just have to post the standings. And what if it could end in a draw?
We can do a quick Facebook Live about the results. How about that?
Maybe we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Stay tuned,
We'll talk
everybody.
Yep.
Enjoy
Join
the off
baseball
season.
league.
Yeah,
We can
join the
take
baseball
on
league.
We can take on as many as we can, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Excited for Bill and Matt to be back on the podcast come baseball season.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll have to figure out that we kind of did it a little bit, not on a regular basis, but
No.
we'll kind of figure all that out. But with that being said, champ, I will give you the last words and sign off.
Spade and neuter your animals, and have a good night.